Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Ask BQ on Bloomberg Quint Live, and I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
And I'm Alex Matthew. Well, this is a show, as you know, that gets you answers to all your equity-related queries. And you can send those queries to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or WhatsApp. And you can also call us on 022-454-04141. Alternatively, you can mail us on askbq@bloombergquint.com. Just make sure to add the AskBQ hashtag.
All right, but before we get to the individual queries on the show, let's also take a look as to what's happening with the markets. Remember, today is the last day for the August series, and we've seen some bit of tepid trade since the morning session. Yesterday, also in the second half, there was some profit booking which came in from higher levels. So currently, Nifty is down almost 11 points. Looking at the options data, it is giving you that range of 50 to 70 points. So Nifty on either side for today's expiry. Sensex and Bank Nifty also. Bank Nifty is down almost 0.5% as we speak. The volatility index has been lower despite of markets also trading in the red territory. So not a bad sign. Volatility so far has been supporting this market, and 12.2 is a pretty good level for the bulls. If you look at the broader markets, they've been mixed, I believe, since the morning session. But right now, there is some bit of outperformance which has come in. Mid cap up 0.3%. Small cap index sitting with gains of almost 45 points. I want to pull up the advanced decline ratio that gives you a better picture of the entire listed universe on National Stock Exchange. Look at that gap. Now it's started to widen. It's almost 3:2 advanced decline in favor of the advances. Let's also pull up the Nifty contributors list and tell you which are the stocks which are capping the moves today on the upside. So your heavyweights, remember, Reliance so far has contributed the most to the rally that you've seen in 2018 and also for the August series. I believe some bit of profit booking taking place here, considering now it's the top weighted stock on Nifty. HDFC Kotak Mahindra Bank also seeing some bit of tepid trade. But on the gaining side, the maximum contribution today is coming in from IDC, which is up and about. Sun Pharma has also seen some bit of gains. Strong gains also seen for a couple of stocks from the broader markets. You've got stocks like Bosch, JP Associates, Reliance Infra, and also something like Kitex Garments. Bosch is up 7%. It's also your top F&O gainer for the day. And Reliance Infra, on back of that deal, it's up almost 7% in trade. On the losing side, well, the day is not looking that great for the, be it OMCs or the aviation companies. Reason being, the crude, the Brent crude is back to those levels of $77 per barrel. So Interglobe Aviation, remember, the stock was down 5% yesterday. It's down another 4% today. Jet Airways is also down in trade, and RBL Bank from the banking space is seeing some profit booking after seeing some outperformance in the last few months. But net, no major losses seen in today's trade, Alex. I think it's because it's expiry, one can expect a bit of volatility in the second half of the session too.
Absolutely, and we were just talking about it. Tomorrow is the end of the week, end of the month, and also the last trading session of both the week and the month. Well, let's get our two experts of the day in. Ashish Kelkar of Kiran, Jadhav and Associates is already here. We're getting Vikas Sethi on the phone line. He's from Sethi Finmart very soon. And they're both here to answer all of your queries today. I was actually going through some of the queries that were already live. A lot of you have already written to us. I do want to remind you, just make sure that you tell us what your time horizon is, if you'd like to hold for the short or the long term. Okay, with that, let's take a short-term query to begin with. I think we've got Riddhish Shah on YouTube who's asking about PNB Gilts. Let's pull up the stock and see what it's trading. PNB Gilts, he's asking for a short-term view, a 6-month view. It's currently trading at 33 or thereabouts, down about 3.9% in trade. Ashish, what's the view on the charts on PNB Gilts?
If we look at PNB Gilts chart, I can see there is a bit of correction which was happening earlier. Now, in the last 3 to 4 trading sessions, it has rallied from a level of around 28 to a level of around 38, and from there we are in again correction mode, and currently it is trading at 33 odd levels. I think this correction will continue to, and the stock price would continue to go down. The correction can go up to 30 rupees. So, if at all someone is holding the position, I would recommend to hold on with a strict stop loss of 30. If the stock price again goes above 36, then it will change the trend, and in that case the next target which can be seen on the chart is around 40 rupees. So as of now, no fresh position is recommended, but if someone is holding, hold with a strict stop loss of 30 rupees.
Okay, if you want to continue holding PNB Gilts, please place a stop loss as being suggested by Ashish around the level of almost 30 rupees. Let's move on and take our next query from Facebook. Tyaguraj Shetty writes to us. He wants to know what are the levels that one can expect today for Bank Nifty, considering today is the expiry day. Ashish, I'm going to come back to you on Bank Nifty. What sort of levels would you monitor for the intraday trade? Also keeping in mind today is the expiry day, so hence we could expect a bit of volatility.
See, today after we have opened with a huge negative gap and then we consolidated. Just 20 minutes prior, we have given us the Bank Nifty chart has given us a breakout on the higher side, but that breakout is not sustaining is what the chart is suggesting at this point in time. So what I am seeing on the chart is the expiry can happen between 28,000 and 28,100. So this is 100 points range where I can see the Nifty, Bank Nifty would be expiring in on today's trading session. If someone is holding the long position in Bank Nifty, a strict stop loss has to be kept at 2045, 28,040. If the price goes below 28,040, then again it will test the 28,000 odd levels. So have a stop loss of 28,040 on Bank Nifty.
Okay, I believe Vikas Sethi is joining us. Thank you so much, Vikas, for joining us at this moment. I'm going to take this opportunity to tell both our guests we've got a lot of queries coming in. So don't, not tell our viewers what you want to tell them, but do try and compress it as quickly as possible. The next query I'm taking is a mail query. Abdul Hakim has written us a mail. He's holding 150 shares of HPCL that he bought at 275 rupees per share. He's asking if he should add more with the long term. He says that he thinks that the valuations look cheap at the current level. Let's find out what Vikas thinks about that statement. Vikas, HPCL at 254, should he add more and should he hold on? What is your view for the long term?
Alex, as far as HPCL is concerned, as far as adding more to whatever he has would not be advisable, because I feel there are better opportunities in the market, and with the crude prices going up, I think oil marketing companies would not perform as well as some other sectors in the market. So as far as fresh buying is concerned, I would say no, but for his investment already made into HPCL, I would recommend a hold, because I feel he can get out of the stock once his price comes and then switch to some other sectors where he can make better profits in the longer term.
Okay, that's the view coming in on HPCL. Let's move on and take some more queries. Vivek Kanoja writes to us on YouTube, and he's asking if this is the right time to invest into something like RBL Bank. Remember, this bank has been doing pretty well. In fact, for the August series also, it's up nearly 11 to 12%. There is a bit of weakness that has been seen of almost 1.5%. So, Vikas, I'm going to come back to you. For longer term basis, would you advise somebody to enter into RBL Bank at current levels of 629 or 630?
Navneet, as far as RBL Bank is concerned, a good stock from the banking space. This company has better operating parameters, better asset quality, but the stock has already run up, and I would advise the investor to wait for a while, let it come down, let it correct, and then take a long-term call. I am bullish on the stock, but then since the stock has already run up, we could see some correction, and that would be a good time to get into the stock.
Okay, it seems, Navneet, that we're getting questions on Ashok Leyland after quite a while, after a lot of questions on the stock. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's trading right now. I think it's around the 130 mark, and it has been around that 130 mark for a little while now. So Uday Kumar has bought Ashok Leyland. He's not telling us what level he's bought at, but he's got a view for 6 months. I'm assuming that he's bought around the current market price. Ashish, what's the view on Ashok Leyland? On the charts, it saw a massive correction and then it recovered somewhat, but it's more or less stayed where it was, a week back or so, I think.
See, though it has after a correction, there was a pullback rally, and this pullback rally took the prices to around 105 to a current level at around 131. But in this pullback rally, there was not much of deep corrections. So there can be a correction, but overall the stock is trying to change its trend, and the trend reversal pattern is forming, but the breakout has not happened yet. So I am looking for a particular level on this chart, and that level is 137. If the price goes above 137, then in that case there will be a trend reversal price pattern, and which can take the prices to around 150 odd levels as well. So as of now, I would recommend to hold on to the stock, and the strict stop loss has to be kept on a closing basis at 125. Kindly remember that this stop loss is on a closing basis, and that stop loss is 125.
Okay, that's Ashok Leyland. A good bounce back has been seen for this one from those levels of 105 to currently somewhere about 130 or 132. Our next query is in HDFC Bank. Let's just pull up that stock. Anand Mishra has written to us. He's asking if at current levels one can look to make a fresh entry. So he wants a technical view, but he wants to hold on to the stock for the next 2 to 3 years. Well, the fundamental view, Anand, has been positive with regard to HDFC Bank. So I'll check with Ashish if this is the correct level to enter into the stock, or one should wait out for more correction or not. Ashish, at current levels, do you think one should enter HDFC, keeping in mind it's a long-term investment of nearly 2 to 3 years?
Definitely, one can invest at this current level because the stock has already rallied from a level of around 1850 to a level of 2200, and from 2200 it has already corrected to a level of around 2050 to 2070. So this correction is a breather for the stock, and this correction is good. So I recommend to go ahead and buy at the current levels. His view is long-term view, so definitely the stock long-term charts are very lucrative. So yes, this is the right point to enter.
Okay, well, we've got a query on YouTube. In fact, one of the first queries that we got today on DB Corp. Let's pull up the chart, and let's pull up a slightly longer term chart if we can of the last month or so, and see where it's been trading. It's down about 3% in trade today, 225 levels. It's down about 8.5% for the month so far. Saran Gupta is asking whether it makes sense to enter into DB Corp at the current level with a long-term perspective, but he's essentially talking about a one-year perspective. So I'm going to go to Vikas. Vikas, with regard to DB Corp, it's been making lows over the past few trading sessions. Does it really make sense to enter into this level for the long term?
No, Alex, my view would be to get out of this stock, or since he wants to buy into the stock, I would not advise him buying into the stock. There are several other better opportunities in the market. So he could look at some other good quality stock, and he has a long-term horizon, so there are umpteen number of stocks where he can get into. So as far as DB Corp is concerned, my advice would be to avoid the stock.
Okay, avoid DB Corp is the call coming in. Let me take the next query on Adani Enterprises. This one comes in Facebook from Vimal Kumar. He wants a short-term view in this one. Remember, the stock's been trading around its all-time high levels. It picked up momentum from in the last 2 to 3 months. It had corrected a lot, but it's been a very sharp bounce. If you could just pull up the last 1 month or 3 month chart, probably we'll get a better view of how Adani Enterprises has been, the stock price has been reacting. In the last 1 month, it's up nearly 19%. Ashish, what would you suggest in terms of short-term trade? I'm sure the charts now would be looking good considering the stock's trading around its all-time high levels, but would you suggest a fresh entry at the current level?
Yes, Navneet, I would recommend a fresh entry at this current level because it has given us the flag formation breakout in just 4 or 5 days back, and the overall chart structure is very good. The first target which I can see on the chart is around 255. So definitely one can go ahead and buy this particular stock, but a strict stop loss has to be followed, and this stop loss is at around 219. 219. So the risk to reward ratio is 1:2.5. This is very good sign. So definitely one can go ahead and buy at the current level with a strict stop loss of 219.
Okay, that's the view on Adani Enterprises. Mutini Venkatesh Chowdhury on Facebook is asking for the meaning of futures and options, and that's a very, very good question, Mutini. In fact, Navneet here is going to be doing a very special program that explains everything to do with futures and options, and it's not too far away.
Just a correction there, Agam is doing it.
Agam is doing, okay. I wasn't very certain, but I know that it's coming soon, so do watch this space for more. We'll alert you when it's out there. I'm going to combine a couple of queries here. Tyagaraj Shetty, and in fact, we also have Okay, Mutini is asking another question. On the banking space, Tyagraj Shetty is asking about consolidation of smaller banks. We haven't yet seen that happen, but you can't rule it out. With that in mind, I'm just going to go and ask Vikas what he thinks about the banking space as a whole. Where would he put his money if he was to invest in the banking space with a long-term perspective?
Yeah, Alex, as far as consolidation within the banking space is concerned, there is a strong buzz that the government has asked RBI to provide them with a list of banks which could be merged. Looking at the way some of the banks are still under the prompt corrective action category, they need to be taken out and merged with some better quality banks. So this is certainly going to happen, and if you were to bet on that, then some smaller quality, smaller sized PSU banks like an Andhra Bank, an Allahabad Bank, a UCO Bank, Vijaya Bank, they could be certainly looked at. But then the rally in them would certainly depend on what kind of news flow comes in. Otherwise, I am bullish on the big public sector banks like State Bank of India, PNB, Bank of Baroda, because I feel the recent quarterly results posted by them were simply very good, and they were pretty positive, much better than what the markets had expected. And I think this recovery process would continue, and we would see some improvement in their asset quality in the times to come. So I think PSU banks offer a very good opportunity at the current levels to buy into from a long point of view.
Okay, maybe the risk reward in the PSU banking space could be higher considering the sort of correction that one has seen. Let's move on and take a query on JN Irrigation. If you could just pull up that stock, just to remind our viewers, it's come out of the F&O ban for today's trade. Melvin wants to know if this is the good time to enter in terms of fresh entry for the next 1 to 2 year perspective. On a year-to-date basis, definitely the stock has not done too much, Vikas, and there were a lot of analysts on the street who was betting on JN Irrigation, but surprisingly the stock's not done too much. Considering if somebody wants to buy for the next 2 to 3 years at current levels, do you think the risk reward can be good?
Yeah, Navneet, I would recommend buying into JN Irrigation at the current levels. The company has been doing well, and there are talks that they could demerge one of their arms, which is into retail farm business, and that could be listed. So that would be a positive trigger. And furthermore, the company has recently bagged some order from a South African country, which was positive. And then today also there have been news that Maharashtra government is planning to make big orders in the irrigation sector, and JN Irrigation being a leader in the irrigation sector in Maharashtra would certainly stand to benefit out of it. And the stock has also corrected from its highs of around 140 to the current levels of around 80-85 rupees, where it offers a good opportunity for long-term investors to accumulate. So I would recommend buying into JN Irrigation at the current levels.
All right, Ashish, very quickly, Subhash is a big fan. He just wanted me to tell you that. And the next question is for you. Anand Mishra is asking about a view on HDFC Bank. He's convinced that he wants to enter for the next 2 to 3 years, but he's asking on the charts, what is a good level to enter?
If you look at HDFC Bank chart, currently it is in a consolidation zone, and this consolidation or the correction would continue is what the charts are suggesting as of now. And this correction can take the prices down to around 2020 to 2000 odd levels. So that will be the right price to buy, because currently the momentum indicators that I am using, they are showing me a negative strength. So there is a probability that the price can go to 2020 to 2000 levels. So that will be a point where it will make a base formation, and from there it will again take a U-turn is what the charts are suggesting. So I would recommend to start accumulating right now, and the level till 2000 you can accumulate and then hold on for the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay, that's the technical call on HDFC Bank, and let's just pull up NBCC. That's the next query from Amod Sagvekar, who writes to us on Facebook. He wants a 3 to 5 month view. Current price of NBCC 73 and his cost is 90 rupees. So he's sitting on a bit of losses. Ashish, I'm going to come back to you since his time horizon is 3 to 5 months. Do you think he can get back his buy price of 90 rupees?
Yes, there is a probability only if the stock breaks a particular resistance line, and this resistance line which I can see on the chart is at around 76 rupees. If the price goes above 76 rupees, then there is a probability that there will be a strong pullback rally in this particular counter. So that's the reason why I would recommend him to hold on with a strict stop loss of 67 rupees.
Okay, Vikas, we've got a couple of stocks that Vibham Raman wants you to weigh in on. He's got rights, 200 shares at 197 and 25 shares of HDFC Life that he bought at 449. He's asking for help on this. Can you advise him with regard to the investment in HDFC Life?
Yeah, Alex, both the stocks which he has, they are good quality stocks. Rights was a recent listing and the stock has done well. I think the investor has bought into the stock during the IPO, and from there the stock has done well. I would recommend a hold on Rights, a good quality stock. And then even HDFC Life is a very good stock, and I'm pretty bullish on the entire insurance sector from a 2 to 3 years horizon. The investor has a long-term horizon, and I would recommend holding on to HDFC Life. And he could even add on to HDFC Life if he has sufficient funds or extra funds to put into. So this is also a good quality stock which he has bought into.
Okay, let's just pull up Vimta Labs. Remember, this counter has been quite active this week. On one of the days, we've seen substantial gains coming by. Not only that, on year-to-date basis, it's up almost closer to 70%. S. Raja Shankar, he's bought 400 shares. He's not mentioned his buy price, but his time horizon is definitely long-term. So, Vikas, I don't know if you track Vimta Labs. If somebody has already bought the stock, what's the view? Should they continue to hold on?
Sorry, Navneet, I do not track this stock and would not be able to offer my comment on the same.
Okay, no problem. Let me just quickly get a technical view on this one then. Ashish, on the charts, how is Vimta Labs looking?
Overall chart structure is very good. It is consistently making higher tops and higher bottoms. And just 3 weeks prior, it has given us a breakout of ascending triangle pattern formation, which is telling me that the next price target is around 315 to 320. So definitely if someone is holding the stock, hold on to the stock with a strict stop loss of 262. And if someone wants to buy at the current levels, yes, definitely go ahead and buy this particular counter with same stop loss 262. And the next target which we can see in the next 1.5 months would be around 315 to 320.
Okay, we've got Amarta Kasturi, who's chosen a clutch of stocks to invest in with regard to an SIP. Asian Paints, HDFC Bank, HUL, L&T and M&M. He's wondering whether this is the right choice of stocks that he's made. So Vikas, very quickly, I'm going to run through the list again. Asian Paints, HDFC Bank, HUL, L&T and M&M. Should he remove anything from the list or add anything? What's your view?
No, they are all top quality stocks, and he can certainly start an SIP in each of these stocks. If he were to add something, then I think Reliance Industries could be one stock which could be added on to, and otherwise even an ITC looks good from a long-term point of view. So these are the 2 stocks which could be added onto the list. But otherwise also, I think all the 5 stocks which he has talked about, they are all good quality stocks, and certainly SIP would reward him in a big way if he were to continue doing his SIP for the next 3 to 5 years in each of these stocks.
Okay, let's take another query on J. Kumar Infra. Remember, the stock's been in focus after a brokerage coverage, and we've seen some good traction. The weekly chart will show you a better picture of how the stock's moved. Today also it's sitting with gains of almost 2 to 2.5%, and in the last 7 days, there you go, it's up almost 18 to 19%. Sagar Reddy on YouTube, he's not mentioned his buy price, but he's asking, can I book my profits or hold on for the next 6 months? What's the view here? Ashish, on the charts, how is J. Kumar looking considering the move that we've seen in the last 7 days? Is there a fresh breakout?
Yes, if we look at the overall chart structure, it was correcting and it was making lower tops and lower bottoms from a level of around 370 to a level of 200. After such a huge fall, but naturally there has to be a pullback rally but this is not a pullback rally. There is a trend reversal pattern formation which is known as inverted head and shoulder, and it has given us a breakout just 2 days prior. So definitely the stock is in a clear uptrend, and it has just started. The first target which I can see on the chart is 279. So someone wants to buy the stock currently, yes, go ahead and buy this particular counter with a strict stop loss of 252. The first target is 280, and if someone is holding, definitely hold on. It's a good stock. Next target is 280.
All right, Navneet, I'm not sure if I missed this, but did you ask about Rupa & Co. by any chance?
Not
okay,
yet.
So I think Girish Kumar is asking about Rupa & Co. I'm just trying to pull up the information on this company. It seems to be in the textile space, manufactures a wide range of knitted garments, and from innerwear to casual wear to footwear for men. I'm just checking very quickly. Ashish, Vikas, do you have a view on this particular stock? If so, can you give us a view for 5 years?
Yeah, Alex, it's a good quality company from the textile space and enjoys a good brand. It has pretty strong brands and a pretty good distribution network also. The company has been doing well, and since we've been seeing good traction in most of the quality stocks, more particularly the innerwear and the lingerie stocks, I think Rupa also would do well. So the investor can continue to hold on to the stock from a 5-year point of view.
Okay, you can look to hold on if you've purchased Rupa & Company for the next 5 years. Remember, this is the space which is benefiting from GST because of the market shares being shifting from unorganized to organized market. Ujjwal Kumar on YouTube wants to know, can he enter Reliance Industries at current levels with a 6-month time horizon? Ashish, I know the charts would be looking good. We've seen the stock crossing 1300. Today seems to be the day for some bit of profit booking. But if somebody wants to take a trade for the next 5 to 6 months, do you think Reliance Industries can be bought now, or wait for a little bit more correction?
I would recommend to wait and let the correction happen. I am expecting a correction because it has moved up one way from a level of around 980 to 960 to a level of around 1300. So after such a rally, there will be a correction, and that is what is also seen in today's session. So what I would recommend is definitely wait. Let the prices correct to a level of around 1200, 1220, and that will be the right price to enter.
Okay, that's the view on Reliance Industries. As you can see, in the last 3 months, it's done pretty well. Before we wrap, I just want to address one query. Mutini on Facebook is saying he's a Bajaj Finserv employee, and he's asking, how is my company doing in the market? Wow, that's a very interesting question. You should be telling us, but let me tell you, from shareholders' point of view, this is a company and a stock which has given very good, returns to its shareholders. It's just that the valuations appear to be very high, but still the street is quite bullish on Bajaj Finserv. On that note, I would like to thank all our viewers who tuned in today and sent us their queries. Please do tune in tomorrow as well, and we'll try and accommodate as many queries as possible. Thank you very much, Ashish, as well as Vikas, for joining and helping our viewers with their queries. Well, that's all that we have today on this edition of Ask BQ.
Do remember, of course, that we're just a tweet, post, or call away, so do keep your queries coming in. And like Navneet said, we promise to address as many of them as possible on our shows. For the ones that were discussed today, and you can always benefit from somebody else's question and the answer that was given to it, you can log on to the website bloombergquint.com and search for the hashtag AskBQ. Up next is Power Lunch, so do stay tuned. This is Bloomberg Quint.